This video was produced by
Hi, I'm Remy Penkel with the Center for Wind Energy at James Madison University, and I'm going to be showing you how to assemble your own anemometer from some very simple materials. Usually we use an anemometer and a wind vane here to measure wind speeds and wind direction to understand if a site is reasonable and feasible for wind development to put a wind turbine on. So today we're actually going to make a cup anemometer just like this one, but we'll be using Dixie cups, so it's nice and inexpensive for your classroom. So what you'll need is you'll need 5 small Dixie cups. You'll also need 2 straws. Now I can usually just kind of grab a handful from McDonald's every once in a while and they don't notice. So that's an easy way to get those. A hole puncher. A small stapler if you can find one, but any stapler will work. And you may also want to have a roll of tape on hand in case the stapler isn't working for your students. I'll show you what this is all about a little bit later. You also want a pencil, unsharpened, with a nice eraser on the end. A sharpened pencil, and this is going to be for poking a hole through one of the cups. So you could use a pen or any other thing that you can poke a hole with. And then a marker. The last thing you'll need is a straight pin. So you can find these at Michael's or Walmart, things like that. But anything with a ball on top is really nice. It eliminates some of the hurt of pushing it into the eraser. Okay, to start, we're going to make the cup that's going to go in the middle of our anemometer. And so to do that, we're going to need to poke the hole through the bottom. So using your sharpened pencil or whatever you have to poke the hole, make a hole in the bottom of your Dixie cup, towards the center if you can, and you can make it just a little bit bigger than the pencil. See, I kind of ran it around in here a little bit. That way you won't have a lot of friction when the anemometer starts to spin. So this is what's going to happen in the end. But for now, we also need to put some holes in the rim of the cup to allow the straws to pass through. So you're going to take the hole puncher and you're going to poke 2 holes that are very close to the rim that are right across from each other. Then you're going to go a little bit further down and at a 90-degree angle do 2 more across from each other. So you're making 4 holes, but 2 are lower than the other 2. Does that make sense? Do you see what I've done here? This way, when you put the straws through, they're not going to hit each other. And then you'll have, see what I've done? And so you can see here that my anemometer is not going to be perfect because they're not at perfect 90-degree angles to each other. So it's going to be a little off. But you will find that this is just a common problem through all of your students, and it's a great opportunity to talk about design and design quality and how that can impact your results. Okay, so the next thing we have to do is we are going to poke 1 hole in the side of each of your other Dixie cups. Now, one of these cups is going to go on the end of each of these straws. The thing to keep in mind is that you want them to be parallel to the table, and you want them to all be pointing the same direction. So keep an eye on the direction. And this ends up getting a little bit hard to do with big hands. So the easiest way to do this is to remove one of the straws and thread one end through the cup. At the end of the straw, bend about the last ½ inch or so down and try to set it against the opposite side of the cup. This is the part where it gets a little tricky. Again, this is where the tape might help. Then we're going to try to stick a staple in it. we are going to try to stick a staple in it. Okay, so there's one. So be sure to thread it back through before you attach the cup to the other side. Hint, hint. And then make sure that your cup is facing the opposite direction when you do the other side. Again, folding it just a bit at the other end, trying to keep them on the same, facing in the same direction, on the same plane, and then throw a staple through it. Haha, okay, success. Then you'll repeat this with the second straw. Again, while you're threading it, make sure it's facing in the correct direction as the rest of the cups. And then add your last cup. Oof. Okay. So once you have all of your cups secured, and I guarantee it's going to take a little longer than that, the last piece of the puzzle is to attach the pin to your pencil, but you're going to use that to hold the straws in place. So I'm going to take my straight pin, I'm going to go through the top straw, making sure it's at the angle that I want it, so that my cups are facing the right direction. And then doing the same with the straws in the other direction. You can see my cups are a little off. There we go. And they're through both straws. And then into the eraser, you can kind of see what I'm doing here, into the eraser of the pencil. So when you're done, it should spin in the wind. Again, there's a lot of experimental design sorts of things that you can play with a little bit to get it to spin better. There you go. And that's how you make your own anemometer.